Reichert consented. They went into his office, and River gave a fine reading. When he was done, Reichert instructed him, "Take the script and go home and call your agent. Tell them you've just been offered the lead in this movie." Reichert was a garrulous, strong-willed operator. Then 44, he had made a series of documentaries, one about the daughters of Richard Nixon and Lyndon Johnson, another about roller derby. When his political satire Winter Kills, with a cast including Jeff Bridges, John Huston, and Elizabeth Taylor, was shut down mid-shoot, the producers got busted for smuggling pot. He made another movie, The American Success Story, with much of the same cast in Europe to finance completion of the first one. Jimmy Reardon, based on Reichert's own semi-autobiographical novel, Aren't You Even Going to Kiss Me Goodbye?, was the story, set in 1962, of a high school senior from a middle-class family in Evanston, the upper-class Chicago suburb. Jimmy Reardon, a Casanova with women, is nevertheless out of place with his rich friends, who are heading off to Ivy League colleges and other exotic locales, while his father is steering him toward an uninspiring local business school. As Jimmy frantically tries to scrounge up enough money for a plane ticket to follow his girlfriend to Hawaii, all his schemes gradually come undone. If he doesn't arrive at an adult acceptance of his situation, he at least ends the movie with a greater understanding of the world he lives in. River hoped it would be an intelligent teenage comedy, a coming-of-age story that crossed risky business and The Catcher in the Rye. John was against River taking the role, feeling that it was too licentious, but Arlen and Iris Burton both thought it was a good career move, a transition into adult parts, and their view prevailed. River signed the contract and started to prepare. "In 3 months, he made himself look 17 years old," Reichert said. "He wasn't eating and he was doing push-ups day in and day out because he had a kid's body and he wanted to get some abs." River went to Illinois for the shoot, joined by a cast that included Ione Skye, performance artist Ann Magnuson, future Big Bang Theory star Johnny Galecki, then just 11 years old, and in his first movie ever, future friend Matthew Perry. Reichert discovered him while eating breakfast in the San Fernando Valley. Not there, John and Arlen Phoenix, who opted to go to Key West to supervise Leaf on the set of Ruskies. River was chaperoned by his maternal grandfather, Meyer Dunitz, but the supervision proved to be nominal. "I could get away with a lot," River said, "because he didn't know me, so he didn't know how I acted. So I could not be River, and there wasn't my mom around to say, 'Hey, come on, what's going on? You're losing yourself.'" Reichert fondly remembered the time River stepped out of his trailer, still wearing a bib to protect his clothes from makeup. There were dozens of teenage girls sitting on a nearby lawn, a crowd waiting to catch a glimpse of River Phoenix, the latest teen idol. He looked at me and said, "How many blowjobs do you think are lying out there?" Reichert recalled, roaring with laughter. But the quip was much more like Jimmy Reardon than River Phoenix. It was mostly a sign that River was experimenting with staying in character. According to Skye, the shoot had a very party atmosphere, with the teens and the adults socializing together, and Reichert leading the way. "It wasn't creepy," she said. "It was exhilarating for the kids to be taken seriously by their adult co-workers." If River was misbehaving, he did so discreetly. Cast member Luann Sirota said, "The most out-of-control thing we ever did was order beer through room service when we were underage, and that was cool." Although River was in a movie full of attractive women ready to rehearse their sex scenes together, he seems to have resisted temptation. Mostly, anyway. Actress Jane Halloran, who played his mother, once found him entangled with a girl in a hallway. "Don't tell anybody, okay?" River asked. Yeah, I'm gonna call his girlfriend," Halloran thought. "But that was River," she said. "Whenever you thought you had him pigeonholed, he was someone else." "I'm the monogamous type," River said. "I believe romance is important in sex. Doing it just for sensation."